my God, is that the Faces of the Future? Welcome to an all-new episode of the Faces of the Future podcast. It's your boy, Millz. I'm sitting here in downtown Toronto with none other than the one and only Jon Vinyl. How you doing today, bro?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Good. I can't complain, man. I'm in your city. It's actually warm for once. Every time I come up here, it's freezing.
Thank God.
What's up with the weather out here, bro?
It's bad, bro.
Yeah?
Bad. Winter's too much for me, bro.
It's too much? Even as a Canadian man?
Yeah, bro. I used to love it at one point in my life, and then it turned into just... I used to, like, snowboard a lot, like, be outside, like, actually try to, like, live in the cold. Yeah. But now it's depressing.
One thing I noticed about you guys, like, when you come out here, it's like, say you're in the States, right? When it's cold, people don't go outside. Yeah. But out here?
Yeah. You're not stopping us.
Snow be at the kneecaps.
Yeah. No, yo, it could be a storm, man.
It could be a storm. The guys in fly fits. The women in the dresses, they're outside.
Outside.
Doesn't matter. Rain, snow, sleet, hell. What's up with that? That doesn't bother y'all?
Nah, we're just like, yo, we're going to have fun. We're prioritizing fun over anything, bro. Like, every single time, we're going to be like, nah. Weather? Nah, that's not stopping us. We're outside.
Yeah. Toronto's a fun city, though. I'll give you all that.
So fun.
Yeah, great vibes only. So, one, I appreciate you stopping by the show. It's been a long time coming since I first met you guys. So how I always start our episodes is like where I first met a guest, and then we go from there. So the first time I met you in person was Austin, Texas, about a few months ago. Yep. So I was out there for a conference, South by Southwest. You know, that's a lot of like rising stars come up to perform. You know what I'm saying? Get their name out there even more than what they are. So at that stage in your career, like, what's your mind frame? You're performing at South by. You're out here in Texas. I don't know if it was your first time. Was your first time?
First time, yeah.
First time there. You're going out there. You're performing. You have a little fan base out there. Like, what was going through your head at that time?
It was so fire, man. Like, there's a moment as an artist when you get to a certain place where you're like looking around and you see your situation. You go, damn, like things are changing for real. Being invited to South by was crazy. Like, that was my first time, so that was dope. I just went through like the whole process of it, have my little like lanyard and stuff. Like, I was feeling good. And then I just didn't realize how big it actually is and how much there is to do and how many events are happening. So it was cool to just be a part of just such a massive thing. And I was a part of it. Like, I really had to go do a performance, and it was just dope, man. I was just happy to be there.
What's that process like when you're trying to get booked? Like, so, because you're from Canada, so like, what's it like getting booked in the States? What's the process getting booked from, like, say you have music going, I know you have your normal tour dates, but events like South by, does someone like reach out to like your team, or is like, how's it go?
Exactly, yeah. Someone just reaches out to your team. They're like interested in you, performing there. We're obviously like, hell yeah, let's go. And you just figure out the flights, all that stuff, and then next thing you know, you're there, vibing. Yeah,
and I know you're fresh off like tour and things of that nature. So was that part of that, or was that something totally separate?
Totally separate.
All right, so how do you like when you're going through that process? You have a tour coming up, right? You did your tour that you just got off. You have an event at South by. It's going. Does that like play a part in like how you approach getting ready for tour? Because like that's a big thing as opposed to just doing a one-off event.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was okay just because what I was gonna be doing on tour. South by was just like a small portion of my set, so like that I was already practicing everything. So I was kind of like ready for it, but the timing was kind of crazy. That was the only thing, like, because we went to South by and then like right after that it was my whole tour. So the timing was a little wild, but we figured it out, and we had so much practice. Like, because we have dancers, so we have to be on point. We have to know where each other are at all points, like throughout the whole show. So it was a little nerve-wracking at first, like having both of those. But it was good, bro.
Was that the first time you had dancers on stage with you?
No, second time.
So, but is it the same people every time, or is it more so like it's just who's available?
Yeah, so sometimes they weren't available, so we would swap. Like one dancer,
I'd be nervous, bro. I'd be nervous as hell. Like,
bro, they're so on point. It's unbelievable, and they're also like Raptors dancers. So like, they're like super professional, and they know what they're doing.
So how's it? What's like choreography and practice like though? Are you like one of those? Are you like one of those David Ruffin type of guys where you're just like, yo, you got to get it right, bro? Or you're just more chill, like, that type of thing.
They're calm on me because I don't dance. You know what I mean? Like, I don't dance, but honestly, bro, it was crazy. Like, I don't know if you've ever like really tried to dance and like do choreo, bro, you're gonna look stupid.
I try not too good at it. You know what I'm saying? Do a little pop lock, but that's about it. You know what I'm
you got a little,
That's it.
Nah, but it's really hard. Like, at the start, trying to actually learn choreo was crazy. Bro. So like people like Chris Brown, like on my hats, like, bro, to sing and like do it. It was so hard, but they were easy on me. Like they made it simple for me. Made it easy.
Talk about that though, like how much shape you have to be in to do stuff like that.
Bro, before a tour, I swear to you, I was like for like, I think it was like a month. I was literally in the gym just doing cardio every single day because I knew that if I'm going to be on the stage dancing and then singing, and then each stage is a little bit different too, right? So, for example, like our LA stage was huge, bro. So back in high school, I used to do like musical theater. Okay. And so I was always taught, like, you have to use the stage. Like, you can't be in one spot, right? So I was constantly moving. So I knew that to sing some of the notes that I need to hit and then also be moving and dancing, I'm going to be exhausted. So I did cardio for a very long time. Did
you hire like a trainer, or is this more so?
Nah, I was just in the gym just trying to like get my heart rate up a lot. And then I would also just like run on the treadmill and then stop, let my like body rest a little bit, and then try to sing. But it was funny because like I'm at like a public gym, so it's like, yo, I took like the furthest treadmill like beside a wall, so nobody could hear me being dumb.
My boy over there running wind sprints with the mic,
for real.
Trying to tune up.
It was crazy, bro. But yeah, it was a cool experience.
And one thing I appreciate about you, and that I say like I'm a big proponent of, is like when you perform but your mic's on and you're like actually singing. Like I've been to like concerts where people, you know, you have the auto tune mics, but like you're just singing. So is that something you take pride in? Like, where does that come from?
It's definitely a pride thing, but bro, it's sometimes I want to just go on tune. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's really hard. Like anyone who's listening, like I challenge you to go up your stairs and like down your stairs like a couple times if you have, and bro, just try to sing your favorite song. Like it's really hard. But when I was growing up, a lot of the people who I would look up to did that, like for real, you know, and some of them secretly, you know, do have autotune, but you can't really take it away from them because at the end of the day, it's like a hard thing to do. So it was definitely a pride thing. Like I wanted to be able to do that.
Like I know, like as a fan, like we look at it as one way, but do like musicians look at you different if you don't do that, or do you have like a one up on them if you're able to do it better than somebody? Cause I know like the musician world is competitive too, like no different than like basketball hoopers, that type of thing. So like.
For sure. I think it's like an unspoken thing though. Like it's like okay. Damn. And no one will talk. No one will say anything, you know? Like it's a secretive thing, you know?
Nice. You were talking about some of your inspirations. Like who did you listen to growing up?
What was my mom playing in the house, man? She's playing a lot. Like I had a lot of, so at that time, 106 A Park. Yeah. Was on. So like you would have that on repeat in my house. And so a lot of it was like Chris Brown. You had like Usher, but my mom listened to a lot of she listened to like Pink, Mariah Carey, like just so much R&B, man. Like she would listen to like Jodeci, Boyz II Men, everything.
So she got a good Rolodex.
Nah, it's crazy, bro. She has like a CD collection that is wild. Really? Bro. Yeah, and it's like it's so cool to look at them and like really take in the era and like the styles of like right now, for example, like the 2000s kind of vibe is kind of coming back a little bit. 100%. So all those CDs she has, like you see their styles and their fits and stuff. The baggy is back now, and it's like it's so funny to look at. Like everything comes right back around, man. It's crazy.
So when it came to like music and things of that nature, I assume she's very supportive in like what you do and like what you're chasing after career wise.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, she's always been super cool about it. Super cool. I feel like a lot of parents would be a little hesitant.
No, for sure.
You know? But it just worked out. It really did. At the start, it was rough. It was rocky. But I did other work. Yeah. But to make a living off of music is...
Let's stay right there. You said it was rocky to start off because you know the era we're in, social media. People just think the glitz and glamour like come right away. Like you see the people that just pop out of nowhere, not knowing they're grinding. So talk about that a little bit. Like some of like the trials you hit when you first started, that you had to get over, things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's so many. Like, I could go forever about, like, all the little things. But, I mean, yeah, like, music, first of all, is expensive. Like, to do music, to even get, like, a setup to record music is very expensive. Right. Like, so that's why there's a lot of help with, like, in Canada, we have, like, a lot of, like, we have arts councils and, like, things like grant systems to, like, really help artists create. But so that's number one. It's like super expensive. Number two, it's like you don't really have like a guide on how to approach the music industry, really. You know what I mean? Like it's something that's so people don't really talk about it or know much about it. Like when I talk to people in the streets and they're like, oh, so what do you do for a living? I'm like, I do music. They're like, whoa, you do what? You do music? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, like yeah, that's what I do for work. And it's just so many questions come after that, right? So it's like, it's not something that everybody has like the knowledge on. So that's another hard thing. You have to get in proximity with people who are actually like in the music industry and doing it. So that's another hard thing. I mean, I could go on for days, but yeah.
How hard was that learning curve? Like learning the actual, like, obviously the music part, which is like the talent piece, you have to, you know, all that stuff that you can study, but like the business side you're talking about, the actual business side of like the learning curve and learning what that's about, how to like maneuver from being like an independent artist starting off to like someone that's kind of like seasoned now in the game.
Yeah. I think, first of all, I can't act like I do like all of that, you know. Manager Millz is in the building.
Facts,
you know?
facts,
so, like, he held that down. But I mean, even for him, I'm sure I could speak for him. It's like he had to learn everything on the fly. Like so, there's gonna be mistakes, but eventually, you know, you start learning things. You meet people who are, you know, doing what you're doing at a higher level, and it's like the information is passed on, and you're like, oh, okay, like this is how you do it. I bet this is how I'm gonna approach it. And then you could change it up a little bit, you know, try new things. But I mean, yeah, you really have to have like a mentor, like somebody who's doing it, man, because you'll lose.
So I want to touch on that too, like your manager's relationship with your brother, because family. Like, so me and my brother, we do this for the pod and NBT and stuff as well. So I probably can relate to some of the stuff y'all battle through, like when it comes to like arguments, conversations, just navigating the space, having that close relationship. Touch on that a little bit, how it's like growing through the process together, because that's not easy. Yeah,
bro, it's your brother, yo. Like, you could really say anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's family at the end of the day. So it's, I don't know. It's good though. Like, I feel like me and my bro, we have like a good relationship. I'm sure you guys do too.
100%.
Obviously, you know, it's like you're gonna have like disagreements and stuff, but for the most part, bro, it's so far. It's the best, because there's no one who's gonna look out for you more than like, you know, your family. You
have your best interest for sure.
Yeah.
So like, as you stumbled upon your ability to sing, when did you know, like, all right, I could actually take this thing serious? It's not just the talent I have. I really have the ability to take it to the next level. Like, what was the aha moment for you?
What happened? I was in my crib. And I was fake singing. I think it was like Chris Brown, Yo.
Okay. What shorty was on your mind at that point?
Yo, nah. And then, my bro, he was like, yo, that actually didn't sound that bad, bro. And then after that, I was like, all right, let me try this. Like, let me continue to, like, you know, try to sing. Shout out to everybody who lied to me when I was younger and said it sounded good because it was ass. But it ended up, like, I ended up just actually, like, practicing and, like, trying to do it. And then it started off with just, like, imitation, like, just trying to listen to songs and do exactly what they do. And then it became, okay, let's actually train vocals, like, because it's, a lot of people are like, nah, I can't sing. It's like, bro, you can learn to. Yeah. You know, because it's like a muscle. So I started training the muscle. And then, so that looked like a vocal coach. That also looked like YouTubing, just different, like, what are they called? Exercises, I guess. And yeah, it went from there. And then I still do that to this day. And it's like,
so you can actually, like, if you're like a mediocre singer, you can really like enhance your vocal cords.
I promise you, bro. I promise. Everybody in this room can learn how to sing, bro.
I'm gonna learn how to sing.
I'm telling you, bro. Look. It's gonna take time. Yeah. You're gonna sound terrible. But nah, you really can. It's crazy.
Yeah. So you took it serious, things of that nature. So when did the first single come?
First single was 2017. Nostalgia.
Yeah.
Before that though, I made music for like probably like 4 years or 3 years before that, before I ever released an actual record.
Was that just to like craft your sound, or is that more so I'm not confident enough in my music?
Not confident, nitpicking.
Yeah.
Comparing it to what's out right now and is doing well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I realized, I was like, no, I'm not ready yet. And then boom, that song came and I was like, I'm ready.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and around that time we dropped it, like Toronto was really like booming in the music scene. Like 2016 was that kind of like that moment, like when, all right, you guys knew you guys had time, but like the rest of the world kind of knew. And then by that time, when that single comes, it's like you're seeing people around you get success, blow up.
Exactly.
So what was that like? What was that like coming up in that scene where you like your homie next to you could get a deal the next day, or somebody you went to school with has a deal? Like, what was that like?
It was fire. I think like it was definitely a blessing to have that in our city, because a lot of people don't even get that opportunity. Shout out Drake, man. Like, for real, he actually like put our name, like Toronto, on the map. Like, he just kept on telling everybody, Toronto, that's my city. I love this city. This is the best city in the world. Constantly. He never stopped. And then next thing you know, we started having talent that came out of it, and the industry started looking towards Toronto at that time. And there was people like me and like, you know, a lot of other people who started making music and became pretty big, like really big. And so it's definitely a blessing, man.
Is it all positivity though within the like the music community out here? Is it people kind of like
it's
afraid to support? Like, I know it's competitive, but like, so like where we're at, like the Jersey, Philly area, like people don't really support like that unless you get that cosign elsewhere outside of like where you're from. Is that like that here? Or is it?
Yeah, it's definitely like that. It's definitely like that. But I get a lot of love out here.
Yeah.
But it's like that for sure. For sure. I don't know why, bro. We gotta unpack why. Like, that, it's so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. I actually don't understand it.
Well, so tell me this. So who are some other artists that you would recommend us listen to?
I would say Looney.
Okay.
Looney's fire. Who else? There's a girl named Adria Kane. She's super fire. Who else is there? There's Dylan Sinclair. There's a lot of like people who are like right now just doing pretty good. It's like there's so many people, but there's a lot of people making music.
So after Nostalgia dropped that single hit, you got a little buzz around your name. You know what I'm saying? People knowing you out here doing your thing. Did the label start calling yet, or are you still kind of navigating, trying to like reach out to them, or they already hitting your phone up?
Yeah, no, for sure. They were already hitting us up. It was that was crazy.
Yeah,
too,
so what was that feeling like?
That was wild. Just like getting emails in of like, yo, it's like Universal, like this place, that place, and they're all just like hitting you up, like, hey, like we're interested, let's have a meeting, let's talk. It was crazy, because then you start realizing, oh, like the world's opening up, right? This world of music that, you know, has been such a mystery the whole time, is finally like opening up, and you're like, oh, like shit, like this is real, like this is actually real. We can make something happen out of this. So that was dope. It was like validation more than anything. But at the time, labels in our head, and still to this day a little bit, it's like it didn't make sense. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, it just didn't really make sense. I was about to say some crazy stuff that I'm not trying to
we can edit it. That's what I'm saying. Like, nah, but like when it comes, I know like I've heard like the treacherous stories when it comes to like just like dealing with labels, things of that nature. Not trying to, because obviously there's some good parts about them, like the ways they can help people, but like in the grand scheme of things, you know, it has that negative connotation. Yeah. But like, do you think there'll ever be a moment for you in time, like where you're like, all right, I'm ready to do that type of thing with them, have that type of relationship, or you kind of just going the modern way that everybody else is going?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I feel like there's definitely a lot of benefits to being on a label, like a lot. Like, for example, one of my friends, like when he started getting pretty big, he needed a label because the money he needed up front to do the things that they were able to do, it's like you don't just have that money, you know what I mean? Like, it's too much. So you have to like get that label support, which is like $1 billion, you know, entity, like company that, you know, can support you in that way. So there's like really cool things about a label, but also there's things that maybe won't help you in your like journey of being an artist, right? So
do you appreciate like the longer route of like kind of just figuring it out as you're going, like learning the ways when it comes, or like if you had an opportunity to just like fast track your success, would you take that?
I would fast track right now, but like I wouldn't change anything, just because you get prepared for a lot of things. Yeah. And you get humbled, and you get a lot of experience. Like recently we did the Opera House in Toronto, which is like a super dope venue in Toronto, and it was like, I think we had like maybe like 600 people in there. Right. And it was like a moment where I thought back to when I was in LA and I did like a So Far sound and nobody knew who I was, and I'm singing these songs with my shaky ass voice, and I'm nervous, and I have no stage presence. I can't dance. I can't even really sing that well.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, the crowd's like, okay, good job. Like, all right, leave. You know,
Right.
it's like, they don't know who you are, right? And fast forward, you're at a show and people are screaming at you. You have a meet and greet for an hour. So it's like, for me, I got humbled. Like, I was able to have a bunch of bad shows. I even went on tour with like Tone Stiff, and I was by myself on stage.
Right.
Like, I was the only person, and I had the house engineers that were just in the building who didn't know any of my music, and I had to perform every single night. So it's like, the journey that I had definitely helped me get to where I am now. So for that, I'm like, this is dope. Like, I'm gonna keep. I wouldn't change it. But now, give me a milli, dog. Like,
so we out of here.
Yo, like, I'm trying to be, like, yo, you can fast track now. I'm good.
Yeah, I feel that. You were talking about the humbling moments. Like, was there ever a moment in time through that process where you're just like, I don't know about music anymore.
Yes.
Man. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Like,
y'all have that conversation. Like, bro, I don't think this is working.
I mean, we never had that conversation.
Okay.
But it was like, I definitely thought it. I was like, bro, this is so good.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, it happens. But I feel like, you just gotta push through. You always have to just push through. That's what I learned. Like,
that's solid. And then, all right. So after your singles are coming, you dropped a couple singles. Your buzz is buzzing around the city. You got nominated for an award. Tell me about that.
Damn. Yeah. Got some Junos, man. Some Juno noms. That was dope, bro. Like, another moment to step back and really, like, you're like validated. You're like, oh, like, even this professional, organization is like, yo, here you go. Like, here's a nomination. Like, we value your music. Like, we think it's, selling well. It's like traveling. It's really getting to people and connecting and resonating with people. And I guess they just seen the growth, and they just hand me one. And
what is Juno for our American listeners? Because I don't think it's in America. It's only Canadian, correct?
It's Canadian, yeah. So it's our Canadian Music Awards. So,
okay.
You a lot of people either make it in or they don't. Like, it's I don't know, man. But hey, look,
they make it or they don't. It is what it is.
Yeah, you never know. But I'm gonna be real. It's politics. I don't care.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of awards shows are politics.
It's always like you always have moments where, like, certain people, like, even in the Grammys, it's like everybody's like, why did that person win that award? Like, nah, like, he or she shouldn't have won that award, and it's like, that's just what it is. It's like, you can't give it too much, I don't know. Yeah, you just when
it comes to those awards, I know, like, Grammys, like, if you're like a new artist, say you were just starting out, that's something that you would probably, like, strive for.
Yeah.
But now that you're, like, in it and you see the politics that align with getting awards, just getting nominated, is it something that helps you validate yourself as an artist? You don't really give as much validation to that as you would when you first started.
Yeah. I don't think any artist should, like, validate it that much. I think it's, like, an incredible accomplishment, and I think you should celebrate it. Get a bottle, pop it, whatever. But I think it's not like the end all be all of music. Like, there's a lot of people who, are massive artists right now who have never got a Grammy, but they're on tour every single day. They're with their fans. They connected. They found their audience. It's like, does that award, like, you know what I mean? It's more of like I got a Grammy. Yeah. That's really.
I got one.
I
could talk about it. Yeah.
Grammy award, and they'll put it on your name, know? It's like a doctor.
Like, I got the doctor.
Yeah, it's like,
I'll do nothing
Grammy award winning,
It just sounds good.
Just sounds good. But, like, it's an incredible accomplishment. Like, we can't downplay it at all, but I don't think it should be, like, validating who you are as an artist. Like, I don't think that makes sense.
So tell me how that would affect your, like, creative process, or what your creative process is like when you're writing, because, like, when I've talked to artists in the past that we come on the show, that there's some people they write to chase a goal, they break hit records. Some people write to just cater to the shit that they like, or like their audience likes. What's your process like when it goes into, like, what are you thinking about, or when it goes into that?
I think we're just trying to be, like, super intentional about what we're creating. I think, like, a lot of the chasing hits is a hard game to play, because it's like, you could try though. Like, I need to try more. I need to try more to, like, chase a hit, like a hit record. But typically we just go in, we'll talk about what kind of tempo we want for the song. So is it upbeat? Is it a little bit slower? Like, is it in between? That's like the first conversation. Sometimes we even just listen to music actually this is what happens. Every single artist goes in the studio and they go, yo, so what have you guys been listening to lately? Every single time, bro. It happens every time. And then everybody starts playing what they've been listening to. And then, yeah, we kind of just come to this like consensus of like, yo, like, let's try to make a record like this. Or I'll already have that in my mind. Like, yo, let's make a record like this. And yeah, from there, usually there's like incredible talented musicians who, you know, could just like think of melodies out of nowhere for keys, guitar, whatever it is, you know, and then it starts from there, and then everything starts like cooking up. You're like,
do you when your writing process, is it just mainly like when you're writing for yourself for a project that you're putting out, not someone else's? Is it mainly just you, or do you normally have a group of people write with you?
So my next single, a lot of stuff I write by myself, but like I like writing with other people as well. Yeah. So it's like a mix of both. Like, for example, my next single was just me. Like I wrote it. And then I had an album that I wrote called Lost in You, and it has like some of like my bigger songs on it, and I wrote the whole album. So it's like I like to like write on my own, because for me personally, it's like once again like a prideful thing. Like you want to be good at what you do, right? So like, and then especially if it connects like across the world with other people, you're like, oh, this is fire, you know. But at the same time, I have records that I've made with like a bunch of people, and they're doing just as good. So it's like you got to have this like good balance. Right. But yeah, I work with people a lot. I work with myself a lot. Like by myself, with myself sounds crazy.
Sound kind of nuts.
Yeah, that sounds nuts. But yeah, I do a little bit of both. Yeah.
So have you ever been, because I know like in the hip hop world, people like when they're writing and stuff and they're putting verses on tracks and stuff, I've heard a lot of stories about someone goes in the booth, they write something, and then it makes somebody else change their verse. Have you ever had that like problem like in a writing camp, like you guys are writing on a record and you thought you penned something crazy, but someone else goes lay something down, you're like, this ain't it.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Some people will step in the studio and make you realize you're not that sick. Like, bro, some people are nuts, bro. Like for example, there's a girl who's like popping right now. Her name's Ray.
Okay, yeah.
And I spent a lot of time with her. She has a like famous TikTok song called Escapism, but she has like a bunch of other records that are just like massive. Like she has songs with like David Guetta and like just a lot of different people, right? So I went in the studio with her for like, I think it was like 3 weeks. We were in like Portugal, and bro, she has records with Beyonce. Like she wrote for Beyonce. Right. She like, bro, she is so unbelievable in the studio. Like it's like it's flowing out of her, the music, bro. Yeah. Like it's honestly too easy for her. Like it's actually too easy. But she's unbelievable. Like that. There's people like that, you know. Like for example, like. It's a whole different thing, but like in the NBA, you know the people who are like that? Yeah. Like right now, Luka's looking like that.
Yeah,
like,
that step back the other night.
Yeah, that was crazy, the game winner. It's like, yeah, some people are just like that. It's really just raps, man. Like they put in the time, and yeah, she's one of them.
What are some of like that we wouldn't know, like some of the crazy like writing sessions or album sessions you've been a part of? If you're allowed to talk about
it. I had that's a good question. No one's ever asked that before. Good job. That's a fire question.
Yeah.
I had a writing camp a long time ago. I feel like I wasn't like ready for it though. But you know, it was Babyface. Okay. So Babyface was in the studio. Dang. And he just would walk around to each, like a bunch of people were just like making music, and he would walk around to like each room, and he would just like listen to what everybody was creating, and we were just like, it was just like a big writing camp. And then like Daniel Caesar came in. So it was pretty cool. It was like a moment to really like step back and be like, damn, like that's Babyface.
I was about to say Babyface. That's
crazy.
That's
and it was so fire, because there was a day where we sat down and everybody, like every single artist, everybody, all the writers, producers, we all sat down, and Babyface is just at the front, and he's just telling Michael Jackson stories, and just like, bro, and he's like doing that, like his voice and stuff. Like, bro, it was a movie.
I can only imagine. Like, what, like, were you like starstruck when you first met him, or you kind of got over it?
No, I was pretty calm, to be honest, because I don't even think I realized like who he, like afterwards I really did like a deep dive to see like his credits and just like more of like who he is, because yeah, at the time I don't think I took it in. I knew he was like a legend, but then I realized like, bro, this guy has Michael Jackson like songs.
Do you enjoy writing for yourself or other people better?
I like writing for myself. I haven't really dived into writing for other people that much. To be
Really?
honest. Yeah. Nah. I think I'm gonna try to do it like more. It takes just like constantly, like you have to like be constantly in the studio. Like you can't leave.
Explain that, like in terms of just like you have to be around them in the studio, or just kind of in the studio.
Just to like really have enough records to just like to shop them out to people. Like you got to be in the studio every single day. It's like you got to be with people to like creatively try to change some of the things in the beat. Like it's a real you have to like lock in for like a long time to have like a crazy amount of records to be able to like take some for yourself and then also just like give them away, right? So yeah, it's definitely a process. Like right now I feel like I'm more focused on just trying to get songs that my fans would like and just like could blow up, you know.
So let's talk about your latest project, Heartbreak Hill.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? You just got off a tour.
We did.
How was that?
Bro, tour is a movie, I think.
Yeah.
Bro.
And we appreciate this.
Of course.
Shout out the whole NBT team, you know what I'm saying? You gave us signed vinyls, you know what I'm saying? From Jon Vinyl.
Nah, tour yeah, right, Jon Vinyl with a vinyl. Tour was a movie because all right, let me paint the picture. So it's like 2017, we're making music, we drop our first single, Nostalgia. You know, fast forward, we keep growing every year. Like our Spotify Wrapped numbers is like every year getting bigger. COVID hits. Everything's lock up. Like, bro, you're you're inside.
Yeah.
Like you can't do anything. Around that time, we planned to potentially go on our first tour. So it got pushed back. Then life just happens. You keep on like making music, other opportunities come, and it's been like 5 years of making music and being like or like maybe 6 now of being in like the public eye and like releasing music. In that like 5th year, you finally go on your full tour. Like think about that.
Yeah.
Like, and you've had a fan base.
Right.
Like I had like heights of like even more monthly listeners than I have right now, you know? And it's like you can see there's demand, but you can't like you have to really plan that tour, right? And you got to have the right like funding, you have to have the right amount of money. You got to be in a specific place to go on tour. So tour was wild because it was like finally, it was like holy, like we have 12 cities, we're going for 3 weeks straight, and we get to actually see the people that have been listening to this music for 5 years. Like think about that. Like we never really seen them, right? In all these different pockets and cities in America. So it's like it was a crazy experience. It's like I've been listening to you since, you know, like I flew from. It's like, bro, like it was wild, and it was just people were making bracelets for you. Like,
how was that? How was that? Like that first show, like when you finally were there, it's like, all right, this is night 1 of the tour,
bro. It was scary, but it was also like, we here, let's go, it's time. Looked at the dancers, we're like, yo, we all dap each other, hit each other up, and then we put our in-ears in and lock in, and just a movie after that.
What's like the I guess the top record that you hear like people say, oh, like this is what I heard you from and fell in love with you as a fan?
I think naturally it's just like my biggest song. So like Addicted, Chrome Hearts. But then there's like a lot of just like one-offs that like there's a song called Always, a song called Star-Crossed. Yeah. That a lot of people connected with, Entice Me. It's honestly super dope that a lot of people just say different things, but mainly I would say Chrome Hearts and like Addicted.
While we're talking about the tour talk, a lot of people like have this idea about like what tour really is. Yeah. Like what? Oh, let's dive into like what. Yeah. Like that's actually for you, like in terms of going from city to city. What's like booking? Like if you guys flying places, driving places. What's it like? Is it like luxurious or not really? Like when the first one.
Like it's. A lot of people say they're like, "What's the one thing you want to do?" They go travel, right? But it's different when you're working, bro. Like it's a little different. Like for example, and it's gonna sound like so like privileged, no matter what. Oh, like I'm tired, but nah, it's like it's exhausting, you know. Like a lot of people, you know, when they're traveling, you know, you wake up pretty early, you catch your flight, you know, that whole process. You know, you get in the Uber, you call your Uber, you pack your bags, make sure your bags are packed properly. You have everything. Get in your Uber. You know, there could be some traffic. You're waiting a lot. You're always waiting. Yeah. And you get into the airport. You do the customs thing 1,000,000 times over. It's so annoying. And then, yeah, they unpack your bag that you packed perfectly. It's like you gotta start being so on point with everything. And then honestly, you get to your city. You just want to sleep. Right. I personally, I don't fall asleep on planes at all.
Really?
Yeah. So like
scared or what?
Nah, like I just can't sleep upright. Like I can't sleep like this, bro. Like I wasn't meant to sleep like this.
I'm the exact opposite. I fall asleep anyway.
Yeah. So my manager's like that. Like a lot of people are like that. Not me, which is like the worst thing. So every single flight I was up.
Yeah.
And we took a lot of them, so, and even car rides, it's like, we're still upright the whole time. So I was barely sleeping. And it's just like the quality of sleep was not that good.
Right.
But anyways, when you would land, you would have to get to your hotel, you would unpack, you'd chill for a sec, or Airbnb, and then you chill for a second, then you would go get food naturally because you're like, bro, I'm starving. Yeah. It's been on a plane for so long. And then sound check. And you go to sound check. For some reason, every day we like pretty much did a full sound check.
You regret that?
Yeah, like I don't know why. We started because we were just a little like, we wanted to be on point with everything. And there was a lot to go over based on like the last show. It's like, oh, this worked really well. Or let's switch up this and see how this works. So like you would try different things. So yeah, you would finish your sound check and then you go back to your hotel or Airbnb. You're kicking it. Then you got to get ready for the show. And then it's like showtime. Boom. You're on stage for like an hour. My show's like high energy, as you've seen. So it's like you're sweating at the end of it. You're like losing weight at the end of it. And then meet and greet for an hour. Yeah. And then it brings you to like 12,
It's a long day.
Yeah. And then it's like wake up in the morning at like 5, 6, hop on your flight because you got to be at the airport 2 to 3 like hours before. So then you just do that over and over for 3 weeks. So it gets exhausting.
Well, does that feel like someone would get sick? Like doing that, like body be done up.
Nah,
after,
there was a point where we would, it would be like one of the show days, and we look at each other, like all of us, and we just like had deadpan faces on. We're just like, let's do it, And then we get out there, and then we're like lit because the adrenaline hits you, like people are screaming at you. But yeah, before that, I wish people could see like our faces. Like,
what city gave you the most energy?
Okay, so there's a top 3. This is an ongoing thing, like conversation. It's fire, but there's a top 3. It is in no order. He'll say San Francisco, but San Francisco, New York, and Toronto, low key.
I seen the story of your Toronto show look lit.
Movie.
Yeah,
it was also the biggest one too.
How was that in front of the home city?
So fire, man. It was such a good time. Like, I would look in the crowd. I'm like one of the people who like if I look in the crowd and I see you like and I know you, like I'm gonna say what up. Like so it's funny. Like a lot of my friends were in the crowd and I just point at them and like make them uncomfortable. It's funny, but it was a good time, man.
That's good. So tour success, album was success. What was before we jump out and start winding down, just the process of like creating the album. What's like the theme behind the title? And all that type of stuff.
So yeah, one time we were just like in Boston. I had like some shows that I had to do, and there was just like this random building, and it said like, I think it said like Heartbreak, and I think I just randomly blurted out like Heartbreak Hill. I don't know why, bro. And luckily, my manager he was like, "Yo, that's actually a fire name." He's like, "Write that." He's like, "Text that to me," because he was driving at the time. He's like, "Text that to me." So I texted the name, and then I already had records that were written, and in this moment, like we're supposed to start like writing an album, right? So I already had some records written, and they fit this theme of Heartbreak Hill. So we ended up making more songs to fit the idea of it, and it turned into what it was. But yeah, it was like I had this guy named like Chris Young, another guy named Avery, another guy named Justin Izuka, and for certain records. But yeah, we just like locked in, just like all talked about this concept of like Heartbreak Hill, and it's like being at the top of it says hill, but it's like emotions, and then looking back down at it and seeing everything for what it is and a clearer view of it, because obviously when you're like elevated you could see more. And so that was the idea of the whole album, and then it just became what it was, and then we toured with it.
So are you proud of your body of work?
Yeah, man, it's super cool. Like I love the idea of, like I remember the time where like albums like it was play from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And it had like a theme and like that's what this was. So it was cool for me to be able to do one of those.
No, I really enjoyed it as well. So let's touch on a few things that you do outside of music. I see you're a big vlog guy.
Yeah, bro.
I tapped into some of the stuff that you did. You were in Paris a little bit. You were vlogging your day to day. Is that something that you just consciously made an effort to do, or are you trying to be more personable? Like, what's your thoughts surrounding that?
Yeah. So if you know me, I'm like the top app, if you ask me, like on your phone is YouTube. Like I think YouTube is the best app personally. I feel like you can find anything. Like TikTok is getting like that, honestly. But yeah, I've like always been really big on YouTube, and a lot of my favorite creators vlog or just show their like days. And I thought, I guess I have a unique position, being in music and like traveling constantly and just getting opportunities with brands and stuff. So yeah, it was kind of a way for me to connect with fans, but also just like, bro, it's so sick to like, like a lot of people will be like, I went here. And it's like, all right, they'll show a couple photos, but it's like I have a video for that, like, right, which is so cool to look back on. Just like on like some personal, just like when I get older type beat, like it's super fire to look back at that. So yeah, I had like an Italy trip, an Ireland trip. Yeah. I had like a Paris trip, and it's like to look back and remember things in the video that I wouldn't have remembered off the top is super dope. So yeah, it's just like a passion project, just kind of fun. Yeah. And
then I see you're always dressed to the T, man. You always styling.
You got
that shit on every time I see you, man.
Well,
I got some of the, what are some of your like favorite like fashion brands or designs? Or you kind of a guy that kind of like thrifts and just puts stuff together?
Yeah.
Like what goes into your thoughts of your fits?
Honestly, yeah, definitely like thrifting super fire. But honestly, my main thing that I do is like when I'm on tour or just traveling, that's my favorite time to shop.
Yeah.
It's just like there'll be unique things from that city, or like there's always like some like old Carhartt pants from like some random place that you're in America that you're at. So it's like, I don't know. For me, it's like when I travel, I shop the most. But we also have to buy a lot of clothes just for like literally everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we can't be documented in the same clothes all the time. You know? So imagine like I just had a hoodie on the whole
every single
just
time.
Like, the same pants every single time. So yeah, there's a lot of pictures taken. So we honestly have to buy clothes, but my manager is like into it a lot too. So like sometimes I don't even really be on it like that. Like
who has the better style?
Ah, shit.
Put him on mic. Who has the better style?
Who has better style?
Okay.
Nah, he's capping.
You gotta give yourself the props, man. You be coming in fly too.
Guy sees me on an interview. He's like, nah, he has it, whatever. Nah, he would, if we were not in this interview, he'd be like,
talking crazy.
Yeah, he'd be like, it's me.
What city do you think has the best fashion, man? So you travel a lot, so.
Damn, that's a good question. Jimo, where were they putting that shit on? New York. That's actually true.
So
that's actually true. Yeah. Because in New York, actually, you'll see some crazy stuff. Yeah. You'll see some out of pocket, but you'll see some like
everybody walk like they're on a runway or something like that out there in the street.
For real. Yeah, New York is actually a good. Yeah, probably New York.
Nah, bro, but like I said before, I appreciate you stopping by the show.
Of course, man.
It was a great episode. Before we jump off, tell everybody where they can find you, where they can listen to your music, where they can stream the project, all that stuff.
Yes, so the name is Jon Vinyl. You can find me everywhere. Like I'm on YouTube, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, everything. You could find me every single place that you could think of on the internet. Okay, that's crazy. I can't be saying that.
Every single place.
That's crazy.
Every place.
That's crazy. But yeah, you can find me anywhere. Just search Jon Vinyl. Yeah.
Appreciate it, man. That's all I got for this episode of the Face of the Future podcast. It's your boy Millz. Peace.
Oh my God, is that the Faces of the Future?